Yo, what's up YouTube family? It's your boy Koozie. I'm back at you with another hot TikTok reaction video. And today, we're going to react to some creepy and woke TikTok reactions. I'm talking about the kind of how you question in reality. With that said, if you're new to the channel, let's go ahead, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you will be notified whenever I drop some new hot content that you definitely don't want to miss. Alright now, don't forget, these videos are for entertainment purposes only. Don't believe anything you hear or see in these videos. Don't believe anything that I say in these videos. Always use your own discernment and always do your own research. With that said, let's get right to it.
You have no idea. Do you know who this council is? Who these people are? I'm going to give you about 5 seconds to comment who you think these people are below. Don't cheat. Alright? If you guessed that this is the Anunnaki, then you are correct. They lied to you about the Anunnaki. They lied to you all. This video is going to make a lot of people angry, so this is your last chance to leave. The Anunnaki is not what you think. And those who have taught you about the Anunnaki have been taught by teachers and have been taught by false teachers. And their teachers have been taught by a man who either was mistaken or misleading. Here's the story that they told you. On a planet called Nibiru, there's a very developed species called Anunnaki. They somehow have messed up their ozone layer. This devastates their agriculture and their societies, and there is an environmental crisis. But they find out that there's a material called gold. Yes, and if they can wield gold, then they can use it to close the ozone layer. But there's one big problem. They don't have any, or at least not enough, so they still cannot close the ozone layer. Because of all the food scarcity, a rebellion breaks out, and Alalu unalives the king of Nibiru. Then he takes the throne. The Prince Anu, the rightful heir, defeats Alalu and forces him to run off. And then Anu decides to launch into outer space in a spaceship to find gold. Alalu finds this place called Earth, and he is forgiven for his sins, and they come to Earth to get this gold. So they land in Mesopotamia and they build a city. The Anunnaki realize that it's really hard to mine gold, so they enslave an alien race to do the work. Well, the alien race gets angry, they rebel, so they still need somebody to work it, so they find a primate-like being and they mix their DNA with this primate-like being and create humans. First, it fails and they create monsters, but eventually it works, they create humans. And they were all males and they were called Adumu, and the females were called Hiva. Humans thrive, they're able to build cities, mine gold, they're invited into a land called Eden, which is a sacred garden. Relationships between humans and Anunnaki is forbidden, but Enlil falls in love with a human, creating the Adapa. Let's go over all the things that are completely untrue about that story. There is no planet called Nibiru that's mentioned in the text. Nibiru is mentioned, but there's no planet. Anunnaki as planetary beings. Again, this is not mentioned. They're gods of Earth, the underworld, of the heavens, but not specifically a planet or planetary travel or spaceships. There's no mentions. Not that the scholars say there's none, and I checked. I didn't find any mentions of the Anunnaki mining gold for their atmosphere. Now, these myths do talk about the creation of humans, but not in nearly as detailed as this interpretation does. DNA and things of that nature. Hybrid humans, monsters, it doesn't mention any of that. And it doesn't mention Adumu or Hive, especially not in the way that this interpretation does. In fact, the person obviously took a lot from Genesis and put it into their story, even though there are stories that they share in common, like Noah's Ark. Where does all this false information come from? Well, his name is Zachariah Sitchin. This man, I think, is a very intelligent man. He's also self-taught in the language that he was translating to try to understand these stories. You also have to understand at the time there was a lot of crises, environmental issues being talked about in his time. This is the 1900s, by the way. But also, people were just starting to translate these tablets. And so this language and learning this language was fairly new, so he made a lot of mistakes. For example, the way he translated Anunnaki. He broke up Anu-na-ki. You'll hear a lot of people do this because it comes from this man. He interprets them individually. Anu, heaven, Na-tu, and Ki, sky. But that's not how the language works grammatically. In fact, the Sumerians didn't even call them the Anunnaki. The Assyrians did. The Akkadians. The word was originally Anuna, meaning Anu's children or a royal bloodline. This is important because this is what he based the entire ancient alien theory off of. See, he interpreted as Anu or Anunnaki, meaning sky to earth. So beings who come from above down, aliens. But that's not actually what it meant. And a lot of people have made theories based off this man's theories. And if we're going to be responsible and conscious and intellectual and philosophical and truth seekers, we have to look for actual truth. We have history channels I like to watch, EU and History, pushing this stuff. If you want to read the real stories, go read the Epic of Gilgamesh and Numa Elish. Those are really good starting points. If you're interested in learning about humanity, what happened to us, where things are going, and how to get out the matrix, you need to go read the book called FAMS, Food, Forest, Foraging, Hunting, Anti-Fragile Modern Society. The audio version is free. It's giving you actual lessons on how to escape the matrix and telling you how the world actually works. It's in the link at the top of the page. I love you all. Let's talk about this in the comments. How do you feel about the Anunnaki? Peace.
Man, oh boy did it. He did a good job, man, breaking that down, man. He did his thing. Y'all, it's gonna be a lot of y'all out there that's gonna disagree with this, and it is what it is, man. I ain't want to stop a boy from doing his thing, man, because he was definitely spewing the information. A lot of y'all out there gonna spew the same information that y'all heard from a guy like the guy who's always talking about the Anunnakis and always spewing all that false news. You know, I have him in a couple of my videos. I ain't gonna say his name right now. Y'all know who I'm talking about, the black guy. You know, he alright though. Some he speaks the truth, a lot he don't. You know, old Mr. BC. You know, y'all know him, old Billy. Yeah. But anyways, yeah, boys, you know. You can't just lean on somebody else understanding and not your own either, but you got to come together, man, and y'all got to come together and, you know, and we got to, like we doing now, and read this here stuff together because, like I say, man, everybody else is reading and they lean on Zachariah Stitch's understanding they haven't read it themselves. You know what I'm saying? A boy said he says he did his own research, so we're gonna go by what he say. He did his own research, and, you know, I'm gonna go find him and try to read it myself too, get some translations, you know. But that's crazy though, because it's a lot of misinformation going around right now, y'all. That's all I'm saying, y'all. Be careful. That's it. Let's get it.
When they launched this fake alien invasion, everybody gonna swear it's real. You know why? Because people don't know that the sky is CGI technology. I've been telling y'all this. That's not your real sky. You see the sky behind me? That same sky up there. That motherfucker is not real. Alright? It's not real. I've been telling y'all that for a reason, because it's being controlled. It's 5 layers to it. It's CGI technology. They showed you this shit in that movie Kong when he threw the motherfucking spear at the motherfucking sun, nigga. Right?
Not only that movie,
showed it right to you, but before they showed it to you in Kong, for those of you who've been listening to me at university, y'all know from day one I've been telling y'all this. So if people not know that CGI technology, once they get the change in the frequency of the sky and they get the altering the layers of the sky to make it look like it's a war going on right there, that's not. All right, they make it seem like it's these huge spaceships that's in the sky. That's not. and then they're gonna actually use actual spaceships that they do have from other extraterrestrial species like these insectoids and these greys and these other ones that they got, you know, they in cahoots with. They gonna make this shit look real, y'all. Listen, this gonna be the biggest movie. Listen, this gonna be the biggest movie they never put out, nigga. This gonna be the biggest movie they ever put out. I'm saying movie for a reason because the shit ain't real, but it's gonna look real. Listen, you ain't better tell people that we ain't under a UFO invasion. I'm telling y'all in advance. Listen, man, holographic imagery is real, man. You gonna see motherfucking aliens running down the street, all that. Be prepared for it. I told you here first.
Guys, check it out. So, I have found that when I do super long exposures on any bright, really bright star or planet, it reveals this grid pattern. So I think what's happening is this scope is so powerful and it's got such a fast focal ratio that when I do these long exposures on these really bright stars, it reveals some sort of a grid pattern. I know you guys have saw Hunger Games, and when she shot the arrow and hit the dome, it revealed a similar pattern. Same thing in the movie King Kong. Guys, they put the truth in plain sight, knowing that most people will never see it. Look at this grid-like pattern.
So I had to
What do y'all think? Is it just the camera pixels, or is it just the dome pixels, or the pixels of our sky and our reality, our world, our fake reality? Let me know your opinion down below. It's getting spooky.
Yesterday, I talked about how CERN is planning to use this Hadron Collider again on April 8th during the solar eclipse. Some of you wanted a bit of evidence, and as you can see, they are planning on actually smashing the protons together on April 8th. But there's also another scientific event happening during the solar eclipse that's pretty interesting. NASA has stated that they will be launching 3 rockets directly at the solar eclipse on April 8th. They're apparently doing this to study how the atmosphere is affected when light temporarily dims over a portion of our world. It's also worth mentioning that they've done this before, launching 3 rockets at a partial.
Man, what? Make it make sense. 3 rockets at the sun during the eclipse. You might be in that house for a while. You might be in there for weeks, days, months. It ain't no telling, man, go down here, but we know it can be diabolical. You know what I'm saying? Well, we know it is diabolical to our grounds, man, during this eclipse. I'm telling you, hey, like I said,
is that the project is named APEP, A-P-E-P, which is named after an ancient Egyptian destruction, disorder, and chaos. Oddly, when you dig deeper, this deity was known for trying to attack the chaos, disorder, and destruction. And similarly, over at CERN, they have a statue of Shiva, which...
Spooky.
It's happening.
Thank you. Anyone else? Found males dressed as females in very provocative clothing being cheered on. That's what's happening. That's what's going to be in our bathrooms with our young girls. It's unbelievable. Our children. We need to stand up. We need to continue the illness that you are forcing on our children to be, convince me of anything else. There are two genders, male, as long as you're respectful to me. We are crossing the line. Unbelievable. Thank you to the...
Let's get that correct, y'all. Not we. And I'm sure and I hope y'all don't push that on nobody else's kids or your kids either. That's sickness. That is sick. Let's get it. That's one of the reasons why they trying to keep my channel down. If y'all don't know.
Board members that fought to keep this in place, 720. And I pray for what is to come.
And you're forcing it on all of us. And you can sit there with your smug looks. It doesn't matter. You people did a disgrace to every freaking normal kid in this school tonight. It's such a disgrace. Every single one of you. I don't even know how you can look at yourselves in the mirror. Honest to God. And I hope that this school gets sued by every freaking parent out there.
Type of activity, man. We not involved. I'm not condoning it. If I send them, I'm condoning it. I'm not going for that.
For their future tonight. It's a disgrace. And I hope that you're happy.
Really, though.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
What a shame. So this is happening at Perk.
And once again, that just tells you a lot about them and who they are. You know, spineless reptiles. You know what I'm saying? Because that's all I can see. That's all I'm getting out of it. They're spineless reptiles, man. You know, come on, man. They must not have no kids of their own. And they probably getting pressure put on them too. They jobs and all that. I have to lose my job. I'm not condoning it. I'm not telling these people that. I'm not putting these kids in that predicament, that situation. I'm not going to be one of the ones that's okaying it. You know, as a teacher or a superintendent, none of that, school board, period, man. Nah, that lets you know they're part of the problem, man. Y'all parents out there, y'all better get it together.
Valley School District in Pennsylvania.
Y'all better get it together, because them not your kids, them God's children. And you one of God's kids too, so get it together.
Is the school board, and yes, you probably guessed it, they changed their bathroom policies and they now allow kids to use restroom of their choice. Like the first lady said, evil is here. You let me know what you think about this in the comment section. God bless you. Catch you on the next one. Wow.
Y'all get in the comment section, let me know what y'all think.
The year 2024 is considered the worst year in history in terms of weather and economic crisis as it is the time, and the predictions from a mysterious time traveler about the weird upcoming events in 2024 make everything even crazier. Save this and come back if they prove to be true. On April 9th, ocean waters turn black for a week, and many unknown sea creatures wash up on shore. On May 27th, the Second American Civil War begins as Texas secedes from the country, followed by other states. It will eventually lead to an all-out war with involvement from other countries and nuclear weapons. On August 8th,
man, we don't know that, but like you say, allegedly, that's the time traveler. This is all alleged, so we're not going to, hey, like I say, don't believe nothing you hear or see in these videos. These videos are for entertainment purposes only.
Massive versions of over 40 mysterious species are discovered in a secret part of the Amazon rainforest. These include 6-foot butterflies, 3-foot long ants, 5-foot spiders, 200-foot snakes, and tree-sized cats. On September 19th, the first ever Category 6 hurricane occurs on the U.S. East Coast. It makes landfall in Florida as a Category 5 before returning to the ocean, strengthening and slamming into South Carolina as a Category 6. On October 25th, a very famous musician comes out and reveals that he had faked his death. Everyone will know who he is. He is known as a legend of his time and will be even more famous than Taylor Swift.
Like I say, use your own discernment. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know what's real and what's not, man. Don't believe anything y'all hear or see in these videos, man. These videos are for entertainment purposes only, man. For real. I got to say that, man, to get my videos clear.
They now have magnetic chicken inside the stores. I can't make this up, bro. So this lady went inside the store and she grabbed a magnet and she just tested her chicken on some great value chicken inside of Wally World. And guess what? It's magnetic. Boy, I can't make this up, boy. When have y'all ever known chicken to be magnetic? And we already know that magnets stick to metal. So what metal particles are inside the chicken? I'm just asking. Don't y'all find that like interesting? That somehow, some way, that all of a sudden out of nowhere, now there's chicken that's magnetic, which makes you think, what kind of metal particles are inside of the chicken to turn the chicken magnetic, where the magnet sticks to the chicken? Yeah, gang, let me know what y'all think about this magnetic chicken in the comments. Like and follow for more wisdom and stay tuned. Share to somebody that don't know and follow me on YouTube if y'all want that exclusive content.
Show the man some love, man, on YouTube, man. Hey, y'all, how many of y'all eating some of that robotic chicken, though? Y'all want some of that? I don't want none of that magnetic chicken. Shit, it got metal in it. Y'all better be paying attention. Y'all share this with y'all family members, man. Y'all better take a magnet with y'all next time y'all go grocery shopping. For real, for real. If it stick to it, you better not buy that. Some of y'all still gonna eat it, though.
NASA has stated that they will be launching 3 rockets in the sky during the solar eclipse. And they claim that they are studying the Earth's upper atmosphere. And they would name these rockets Apep. Now, Apep would be an ancient Egyptian deity. He would also be called Apophis. Apep is a god of chaos. He is known to bring judgment and order. You guys have to understand that we have ancestors in higher dimensions, and they are coming back to bring balance.
Apophis was depicted as a great serpent and sometimes as a colossal crocodile. He was an incarnation of disorder and destruction, the supreme incarnation of disorder and destruction, and the arch nemesis of Ra, whom Apophis fought ad nauseum, the two of them meeting in the underworld each night and battling for the fate of all creation. The eyes of Apophis were especially perilous, and his terrible roar was said to be deafening, able to resound throughout the entire underworld. The movement of his body shook the earth, causing earthquakes, and the hidden sandbanks in the Nile that were so treacherous to ships were equated with his coils. Medieval dragons are thought to perhaps be modeled after a hybrid representation of Apophis that conflated both his snake and crocodile forms. And the python, which could unhinge its jaw to swallow large prey whole, is thought to have been a principal inspiration for Apophis, in terms of both appearance and action, the latter being to symbolically swallow and destroy the world by killing Ra. There was a plethora of fierce and frightening phenomena associated with Apophis, including thunder, earthquakes, darkness, disorder, storms of every kind, and chaos. Depictions of Apophis varied, sometimes shown as a coiled serpent, but most often shown under attack by Ra and his supporters.
She sounded like to me Apophis was a reptilian. I don't know, man. I'm just saying. Y'all let me know. Y'all think he was some type of snake god or something? To me, the definition they was giving sounds like some type of reptilian or draconian. Y'all let me know what y'all think, though. I might be tripping, huh? I'm just playing.
NASA program named after the serpent deity plans to fire several rockets at the solar eclipse. And you know, you see right here, the name of the program is Apep, which is named after a serpent deity in ancient Egyptian mythology. But something that I find strange is that they also did an operation on October 14th. Yeah, they shot a few rockets at the solar eclipse. Once again, why are they naming it after the god of darkness. Oh, but I'm not done. Do y'all remember that asteroid that they said we would start seeing? And they named this asteroid Apophis. Well, let's read what Apep or Apophis is. Apep or Apophis was an ancient Egyptian spirit of evil, darkness, and destruction. As the arch enemy of the sun god Ra, he was a malevolent force who could never be entirely vanquished. I just got a question. Why is they choosing to name all of these space missions after the serpent god of chaos and destruction? But y'all let me know y'all thoughts on all of these Apophis space missions in the comments. Like or follow for more Wisdom Men. Stay tuned. Follow me on YouTube if you want that exclusive content, and share to somebody that don't know.
Just a little something to make your mind wonder.
The way that they are gearing up for this eclipse is peculiar, it's creepy, and we need to talk about it. Welcome back to 5D Mystery School. Let's get into it. Massive explosions may be visible on the sun during the April 8th total solar eclipse. So they are saying that you can see solar flares that could shut down communication. Matter of fact, let me show you the article. Huge explosions from the sun may add a great show to solar eclipse. It's all thanks to a series of massive explosions that one solar physicist says could be visible during the lengthy daytime phenomena. It will be fully over western New York just after 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That will move across the nation. The total eclipse of the moon covering the sun could coincide with corona mass ejection, CMEs, which happen when massive particles from the sun are hurled out into space, speculates Ryan French of the National Solar Observatory in Boulder, Colorado. Double solar flare sees sun wake up weeks before total solar eclipse. What do they mean by the sun waking up? Make sure you keep an eye out for my next lecture. The Devil Comet will be a heavenly co-star. Bro, nice choice of words. Heavenly co-star during the eclipse. Here's what to know.
Man, why do they keep naming these things, these different entities, these evil entities at that? Like, come on, man. That lets you know they just giving themselves up, man, telling y'all who they are, who they worship, and what they're all about, man. Come on, man. That's crazy.
Now remember, luciferase was put into the jabs, and the main goal of the jabs was to make it to your pineal gland, the optic thalamus, where Christ returned.
Now with something like that, name something like that, I definitely wouldn't put that in my body. Y'all crazy.
So the Devil Comet will be a heavily co-star. It's coded, bro. So in this first paragraph, they're just saying that a lot of people are going to be watching the eclipse, but a few people are going to be looking off to the side, gazing at the Devil Comet. Worth noting, Jupiter will be at the 18th degree in Taurus on the day of the eclipse. If I were you, I'd brace myself for a major earthquake. And I've warned before, but just want to warn y'all again. Now, I made another video talking about how the ship crashing into the bridge was coded for a premonition of a civil war. Now, fire erupts at Lincoln Memorial, leaving one seriously injured as hazmat team called in. From the Library of Congress, Abraham Lincoln's presidency. Abraham Lincoln was elected president in 1860 and again in 1864. His first inauguration on March 4th, 1861 featured an unprecedented amount of security around the president-elect, spurred by the approaching onset of the U.S. Civil War. The film Civil War releases in 15 days. 1 + 5 is 6. Abraham Lincoln in Gematria is 6. Again, this is coded and pointing to a civil war. This is noteworthy. Strongest geomagnetic storm in years lights up the sky. This happened on March the 25th. Now, after this happened and you looked up at the moon was brighter, wasn't it? The sun has been bright as hell, hasn't it? Well, the geomagnetic storm, what it did, it charged up the moon and the sun. So that's why the moon has been brighter. And that's why the sun is bright as hell right now. 3 days ago, Geomagnetic storm severe enough to bring northern lights to California? Well, let me tell you, if you see the northern lights over California, that means there's a lot of geomagnetic interference taking place. And what could you do with all that geomagnetic energy? Earthquake. Whenever HAARP goes off, the sky turns a lot of different colors. That is similar to the aurora borealis, right? HAARP creates any weather condition, earthquakes, tsunamis, hurricanes, etc. Amplitude modulation. Okay, so I was doing a little bit of scrolling last night on TikTok on the Clock app, and I noticed this creator mentioned something about the NASA Serpent Deity program. So let's dive a little deeper into what this is. NASA APEP mission, to launch 3 sounding rockets in October. That was in 2023. Now we're in 2024. This won't be the only APEP launch. The APEP rockets launched in New Mexico will be recovered and then relaunched from NASA's Wallops Flight Facility in Virginia on April the 8th, 2024. When a total solar eclipse will cross the U.S. from Texas to Maine, the April launches are farther from the eclipse path than for the October annular eclipse, but will present an opportunity to measure just how widespread the effects of an eclipse are. So they're going to launch sounding rockets into the moon's shadow during this eclipse. That's what the APEP mission is, okay? Again, it's all coded. And if you've been following me for a while, you've heard me talk about APEP before. So I already know the students of 5D Mystery School, especially the advanced students over in Patreon, when they heard this, they already knew. Ancient Egypt, many solar eclipse myths revolve around the duality of light and darkness, good and evil. As you might imagine, that puts a rather nefarious spin on the sudden obstruction of the midday sun. Thus, ancient Egyptian cosmology gives us the APEP, the cosmic world serpent. The APEP serpent deity program by NASA is referring to this, okay? APEP embodies chaos and death, making the monster a natural adversary for the sun god Ra. The serpent pursues Ra as the sun god pulls the burning sun disk across the sky, lighting the world. Every so often, APEP nearly consumes the sun disk, resulting in an eclipse. Luckily, Ra and the defenders aboard his sky barge always manage to fight free of the serpent's shadowy coils. Now, it's a similar story in Hinduism, ancient Mesopotamia, Norse mythology. You can pause to read all these. And ancient Persia. And it always involves a serpent eating the sun. Ancient China also had a belief that a dragon ate the sun, and that's why they experienced an eclipse. From Wikipedia, APEP was the ancient Egyptian deity who embodied darkness and disorder, and was thus the opponent of light and Ma'at, order and truth. Ra was the bringer of light and hence the biggest opposer of APEP. Now, Ma'at, order and truth, represents Libra. This eclipse in Aries will be opposing the South Node in Libra. Ma'at, order and truth. And of course, the solar eclipse is going to take place in Aries, and Baphomet or Satan represents that energy of the ram.
Oh, man.
Notice how they have the fire on top of his head. Aries is cardinal fire. Side note, you know how important the cardinal is, because the cardinal houses the cardinal winds. Cardinal in the Holy Roman Church is a senior member of the clergy of the Catholic Church. So Ra was the bringer of light, hence the biggest opposer of APEP. Worth mentioning, APEP is the descendant of Neith. Neith, she is the terrifying one, right? Was an early ancient Egyptian deity. She was said to be the first and the prime creator who created the universe and all it contains, and that she governs how it functions. She was the goddess of the cosmos, fate, wisdom, water, rivers, mothers, childbirth, hunting, weaving, and war. So here are some ancient Egyptian depictions of APEP. You can see here they're trying to fight APEP off so he doesn't consume Ra. Take a look.
Long night.
And this symbol you see above APEP there, that's a symbol for Neith. Now, this eclipse will definitely cross some very potent ley lines here in the United States. You can see the path of totality here. Now, I should mention the moon shadow will touch Serpent Mound in Ohio. That's appropriate because you see that red slither going across the NASA symbol? Yeah. Apep represents the Duat. The Duat was the region through which the sun god Ra traveled from west to east each night, and it was where he battled Apep, who embodied the primordial chaos which the sun had to defeat in order to rise each morning and bring order back to the earth. It was also the place where people's souls went after death for judgment, though that was not the full extent of the afterlife. Now, the solar eclipse is taking place on April the 8th, 2024, which is a 2-day in numerology, and Apep in gematria is 2 in simple English. And since I'm running out of time here, so much more to say, but the last thing that I'll leave you with is just take a look at the solar eclipse, right? The way it looks. You could say it's symbolic to the Eye of Ra. I might have to come back and revisit this last thing that I'm going to leave you with, but I did a video a couple of years ago about the ALICE experiment from CERN, and now CERN has the White Rabbit project. Oh yeah, and on April the 8th, CERN is going to be firing proton beams. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Peace.
Again, CERN, man, he got me with the ending, man. CERN is going to be firing up again on the same day. Why are they shooting up rockets at that sun in that moon shadow? And why is CERN open up doing it? Man, I'm telling y'all, it's a lot we got to watch out for on that day. I'm telling you, it's a lot to be distracted by. Something tragic is going to happen. I'm telling you, I got a feeling inside, man. Let's get it, man. It's crazy.
Bro, why in the fuck would they be starting back up their fucking Hydro Collider, bro? Come on. This motherfucking Hydro Collider, bro. Are you fucking serious, bro? That's damn near a giant fucking portal, bro. When they turn that shit on, it make hella different shit start to happen, bro. In the weirdest fucking ways. It's like, it's a theory that I got. That when they turn that bitch on, right? They're ultimately, basically, bringing another world into this world. Basically opening their own Stargate. You get what I'm saying? Like, the reason why I said they could be opening their own Stargate is because whatever realm they connecting to, they're trying to bring things out of that realm into this realm like they've been doing this whole entire time. They have so many different fucking excuses about what they're doing. They're not showing us what they're doing. They're not telling us what they're doing. We know it's demonic. We know it's ritualistic. We know they're trying to bring hell on earth worse than what it has already been in the last 30, 40 years. So ultimately, what is the reason for that, though? What is the reason for that? Because it's been a war for the last thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And they're trying to win the war by bringing in whatever the fuck they gonna bring in from this other realm into this realm. You get what I'm saying? These motherfuckers been here for thousands and thousands of years. You think they just now trying to figure out how to create the God particle or whatever the case may be? No, they have the specs. They have the blueprints. They have the instructions. Only thing they don't have is the energy. They doing all these rituals and all this different shit to get more energy and to harness that shit for this machine. You get what I'm saying? Because CERN is basically involved with the internet. CERN is basically involved with us having Wi-Fi, all these different things. So them having this machine is basically like a giant energy harvesting mechanism that ultimately wraps around the whole city in Switzerland. Come on, bro. We watching these niggas harness all this energy and they wrap that shit around the whole fucking city in a circle? Come on, bro.
Potentially Starfish Prime, you better listen to what I'm saying. People better listen to what I'm saying. They better. I'm telling you. If you're interested in this stuff, listen to what I'm telling you. For people who don't know, that was a nuclear test in space. It was the main test where we really were able to study and learn about EMP. This was also happening during, oddly enough, the Cuban Missile Crisis. And the whole world was focused on the Cuban Missile Crisis something else was going on. And that something else may have brought something down. And that something that brought down, we may have learned a lot about that, about EMP specifically, and its ability to catch things that are hiding. Everyone has to remember what happened once we started playing with nuclear weapons. UFOs showed up everywhere. And you got to think, why? And even they, as advanced as they are, they can't get away from it. And makes you really wonder why we did so many nuclear tests. It makes you really wonder why we did like 30,000 tests all over the world, in oceans, underground, up in the sky, and why we all have so many nuclear weapons. It's a big deal. The entire Cold War, we were working with the Soviet Union. We were together with them. And it was the one thing that kept the Cold War from going hot, was our relationship together on this issue. Because there was a small group of people on both sides that were trying to do exactly what they did, which was fly swat some bugs out of the sky.
Crazy story right there, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that down below.
I could not wait to make this video. I wanted to make it last night when I found this information. Do not scroll. This is about the eclipse. Let me preface this. I know that there are a lot of conspiracy theories, a lot of videos being made talking about the April 8th eclipse. I have not fed into any of it because although I like a good conspiracy, I need to see factual information and evidence in the Word of God. And then last night, God put something in my lap. Something that I need to show you about the eclipse. And it's not a conspiracy. It matches with the Word of God. And I have factual evidence. Now, I do not have this all figured out because I have not deeply studied Revelation. That's where the scripture is from. But I want to show you what I got. And I want you guys to help me put this together. Here it goes. So I was online, I'm in bed, getting ready to fall asleep. And I see the, did you hear the news guy, right? Everybody knows him. And he made this video talking about how during the eclipse, NASA, but not NASA, a subsidiary, like a group inside of NASA, is going to be firing missiles at the eclipse. And they chose a name for their subsidiary, and their name is APEP, or APEP. They named themselves after a serpent deity. I'm sorry, what? So when he said this, I thought, I'm going to look into APEP. I've never heard of APEP. That's where this starts. But before I went to look up APEP, I wanted to make sure that this was true. Did they pick the name for a serpent deity? Is it really APEP, etc.? This is from nasa.gov, and it's like a download. We're going to zoom in. Let's start up here. Sounding rockets are well suited to study the dynamics of Earth's ionosphere, and a unique opportunity to do so is presented by the annular solar eclipse, which happened on October 14, 2023. Go to the next part. 3 additional rockets with similar instrumentation will be launched from Wallops Island, Virginia during the total solar eclipse on April 8th. Now here's the highlighted part. The mission is called Atmospheric Perturbations, I think I pronounced that wrong, around eclipse path, or APEP, APEP. The acronym was chosen because APEP is also the name of the serpent god from ancient Egyptian rockets with similar instrumentation will be launched from Wallops Island, Virginia during the total solar eclipse on April 8th. Now here's the highlighted part. The mission is called Atmospheric Perturbations, I think I pronounced that wrong, around eclipse path, or APEP, APEP. The acronym was chosen because APEP is also the name of the serpent god from ancient Egyptian cosmology who pursued the sun god Ra and every so often nearly consumed him, resulting in an eclipse. That's a really interesting choice for a name, don't you think? Let's look up APEP. Listen, I know the top is cut off, but it says APEP, also spelled APEPI or AAP.
What are you doing? Nothing, just chilling, just getting ready for Operation Steadfast Defender 2024. Hey, have you heard about that yet? No? Okay, well, I'll explain it to you. It's the biggest NATO military operation in the last 40 years, involving 31 countries and 90,000 units. Well, why would you want to go ahead and go through those motions. Just to make sure that your motions are motionable. For any other reason why your motions would need to be motivated? I don't know. I mean, like, if you're throwing footballs and you're trying to be a quarterback, why would you do that if you're trying to be a pitcher? Just doesn't make sense.
Make it make sense now.
The latest predictions from The Simpsons for 2024 are genuinely eerie. This one is absolutely disturbing. In season 24, episode 9, Homer Simpson is preparing a bunker fully stocked with provisions for his family, anticipating something dreadful on the horizon. Shortly after, a solar superstorm strikes Springfield. A silent...
Hey, y'all, that definitely would be something if they was doing that on purpose. And it really isn't an eclipse and they blocking it. Because think about it, they did say they sending 3 missiles. Something to think about. Wow. Why else would they do that? I don't know, man. That's crazy to me.
Invisible tempest sweeping through the town, causing severe consequences. This catastrophic event leads to a complete shutdown. No internet, no electricity, everything comes to a standstill. A solar superstorm could wipe out the internet for weeks or even months or even forever. The portrayal of a solar superstorm in the episode aligns with the potential real-world impact such an event could have. Interestingly, NASA has recently made a shocking discovery, a massive hole in the sun called the Coronal Hole. This hole, large enough to engulf 60 Earth-sized planets, is currently releasing solar storms at a staggering speed of 1.8 million miles per hour, and could be headed to Earth fast. The last time the Earth experienced such a storm was in 1859. It was known as the Carrington Event. The 2024 solar storm is predicted to be 60 times more powerful than the 1859 solar storm, possibly the strongest ever recorded in history. Such solar storms can have catastrophic effects on Earth, affecting satellite power grids, GPS, and potentially wiping out hard drives and the entire internet permanently. Might take decades for us to recover. It's only a matter of time.
What y'all think about that? Let me know down below.
Stop and listen. Look, it actually goes back to the last time we saw it as the year 1811. Of course, they wouldn't lie to us about history there, right? Remember when I mentioned earlier that the solar eclipse of 1811 was preceded 2 weeks earlier by a lunar eclipse? Well, wouldn't you know it, exactly 2 weeks prior to the April 8th solar eclipse, we will have a lunar eclipse on March 25th. Those earthquakes were called the Great New Madrid earthquakes, and of course we know that the path goes right over the New Madrid fault line for the eclipse of April 8th. Maybe they do have reasoning for stationing National Guard, canceling schools, putting out radiation units. I mean, who knows what's in that earthquake smog that's going to dark out the sky, not to mention how that also ties into more scripture. I know I find it odd that I never heard about any of those crazy things that happened during those earthquakes. You would think that would be a big part of history, knowing that some of these occurrences have happened. Of course, do with this information what you will. I do believe that this also ties in with the city's name Nineveh, the sign of the prophet Jonah.
The book of Revelations has 404 verses. Add the number of people at the Last Supper, minus the number of Filipinos in the Bible, and you get 3:15 p.m., May 18th. The world will end next week! Spend your children's college fund! Throw that turkey now! It's the end of the world! God loves you! He's gonna kill you!
Simpsons has done it again.
Let's just say the power grid goes out, okay? Yeah. I'm telling you, it's gonna happen.
I know.
I just don't know when it's gonna happen. Meaning, is it gonna be in 2024 during election year? Because they're scared shitless that Trump could actually win? Is it gonna be next 5 years, 10 years, 15 years? I believe it's gonna happen. You best just do whatever you can to be ready for it. Some people are maybe saying, well, I don't have the kind of money, you guys got the money, and da-da-da-da. This isn't about money. There's ways of preparing in different ways based on the...
Coming from a guy who has plenty of money. Come on, man. Y'all, it's always about money. Let's not, come on, man. Let's be realistic in this situation.
Kind of resources you got. Protect your family. How do you do it? You have to do a little bit of research, a little bit of studying for yourself to find out if that were to happen. Do you have a small generator? Do you have certain things set aside? What method of payment will you use if you don't have any cash, or if you don't have, what other things do you have to protect your family? I do believe it is something worth talking about with your family to be prepared for this, because I think something like this is going to happen next 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And by the way, I do believe it's going to be worse than COVID, because at least with COVID, you can stay home, still communicate with others. With this, you stay home. Your internet, security, gate, lights, it's mayhem. Everything's gone, so what do? You just got to be prepared for it.
I mean, he gave y'all some pointers, but at the same time, if you ain't got money like that, how they gonna prepare it? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's why I say you got to be realistic in this situation, man. But with that said, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna get to it. To it, y'all let me know what y'all think about that video, you know what I'm saying, in the comment section. If you enjoyed it, you liked it, you still here with me, kicking it with your boy Coogee, and you're new to the channel, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, you know, so you'll be notified whenever I drop some new hot content that you definitely don't want to miss, man. I'm telling you, because lately they've been messing with, you know, people's channel and subscribing and stuff, but you might have to resubscribe, but it's all right, especially if you want to hear these messages, man. Telling you, it's your boy Coogee. I'm out, man. Holla.